Howdy groupies, this is Mark, and we're doing another edition of our onboarding with Groupable videos. And this one, we're going to be going over some terms because it's important that we share a language with you. Call it jargon. I don't like that term. Jargon can divide people, but it's our jargon. It's the terms we use, the internal language within the application about how we refer to things, because we serve a lot of different organizations. They all have the same concepts and they call all this stuff by different names. So we'll get into it. At the root of it, Groupable is all about groups. That's what we do. Groups of people. They could be national groups, state groups, local groups, regions, districts, areas, provinces, you name it, all kinds of different names and terms for these things. But really at heart, we handle groups of people. And those groups can be hierarchical. We start out at what we call a parent group. Our shorthand that we use internally in the application and a lot of our documentation is just we call it the group or groups. These are the top level entity for your organization. Generally speaking, they're the ones that grant a charter or some authorization to all the subordinate groups within their organization to operate. Some things, some synonyms for this, you might call it headquarters, an HQ, a Grand Lodge, Grand Chapter, Grand Post, a national chapter, an international chapter, something like that. But it's that parent organization where everything derives from. And then we have this concept in the application called regions and districts. And again, these are groupings generally for management purposes so that the officers in the parent group don't have to deal directly with every person in the organization. They put some hierarchy in place. Those are regions and districts. Some people call them areas, sections, provinces. I'm sure there's other terms for them. We call them regions and districts. Then we get down to where the rubber hits the road, the local groups, or what we call locals for shorthand. This is the entity that the member actually belongs to. They belong to the local group. That's where they have their membership. It's where they go to a meeting. It's where they pay their dues to, that type of thing. That's the local. Now, you might have a national or at-large group that pay directly to the parent group. We handle that as a local, that is an at-large local. Some synonyms or names that you might call this as a lodge, a chapter, a council, a commandery, an association, a post, a club. Basically, any one of those things is what you may call this. I'm sure there's other names for it. For us, it's that local group where that's where the officers and that's where the members are. So how does this all fit together? So at the top of the hierarchy, we have the parent group. In our system underneath that, we have the regions. Underneath those, we have districts. And then under those is where the local groups are. Now, some of you may have locals that deal directly with your parent group. You may not have the regions, you may not have the districts, and yours may just look like that, where you've just got the parent group and you've got local. And that's fine. We handle that too. So because we have all these different types of groups, we have different types of users. So the first group that we have are what we call the group users. Those are the parent groups. That could be the office staff, the elected officers at the group level, the people who help them, their appointed officers, their appointed helpers. Those people have visibility to everything in the system. They can see all the information that's there for the regions, for the districts, and for the locals. So under them, we have region users, and those people have visibility to the data below them. Generally speaking, it's read-only. We have some things that they can do read-write, but generally speaking, the regional officers and also under them, the district officers, they tend to be in a read-only fashion where they're looking at data, coaching, doing analysis, making sure that people are doing the things they need to do at the local level, that the local users. And when we talk about local users, we're talking about the officers, the people who are empowered and have the responsibility to run their local for the members that belong there. So all the functions that we have for member management, status, contact information, emails, calendars, all that's managed by these local users. And then below that, we have the rank and file users. Those are the members. They can log into the portal, they can look at calendars, they can comment on things, they can post, they can put up a photo, they can update their contact information for their postal address, emails, cell phones, all that kind of stuff. That's what the rank and file people can do. So those are the 4 levels we've got: the group, the region, the district, and the local, and then the members under them, the rank and file users, the members at large. So those are the terms I'm going to go over today. Those are the ones you really need to know day one as you start to look at Groupable and how it functions and navigating it so you understand where you are in the app. There's more terminology. We'll get to that. Most of it revolves around finances for the local groups, and we'll cover all that vocabulary when we get into